Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the Casual Sports Podcast. As always, I'm Matt Morrison, and I'm here with
Alec Cabrera
and Michael Wolfgang.
We're going to jump right on in things today. First, we're going to talk about the NHL. Every team right now who has a lead is up 3 games to 1. So it's
in the second round, right?
In the second round. So it's not really a competition at all. First game here, we got the Dallas Stars versus the Colorado Avalanche, and like I said, Dallas leads series 3-1. They won game 4, 5-4. They had Radek Faska had a goal and 2 assists. And here's the name for a Root Hintz scored the last 3 power play goals for Dallas. The next game is tonight at 9:45. You guys need to tune in maybe.
Tonight? No, we got more NBA on tonight. That's what I'm going to.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. You'll get into depth
I'll get into basketball later on.
Hell
yeah.
You gonna watch?
Probably switch into that baseball.
Yeah. Then the next game, we got the Islanders and the Flyers, and the Flyers lead that one 3-1. Here's another name, Jean-Gabriel Pajot.
That's fancy right there. That sounds
Nice.
French.
Yeah, Pajot.
Got some French in there.
He scored the winning goal with 7 minutes and 18 seconds into the third period, and the Islanders just one win away from the Eastern Conference Finals. They didn't make it quite that far last year. I think they lost to the Bruins.
They beat Pittsburgh in the first round, right? Last year?
Yeah, I was at one of those games. Yeah. Then Las Vegas Golden Knights is just cleaning up. They also lead the series 3-1 against the Vancouver Canucks. Max Pacioretty scored 2 goals and he had 1 assist. Vegas won game 4, 5-3. Moved just also 1 win away from the Western Conference Finals. And then the final game we're talking about here is Bruins versus Tampa Bay. And Bruins is their backs against the wall. They're not doing very good. They don't look like that championship team they were
from last year.
They did lose, but they were there. They're just 1 game away from elimination. They look to stay alive with a win tonight. I forget when that game is tonight. It's later. It's one of the late games. But the Tampa Bay Lightning is they're led by Andre. We're gonna go with that. Palat, who scored 2 of the 3 goals on Saturday, and then their goaltender Vasilevsky had 29 saves. But that's pretty much it with all the games. I mean, there's not really much to talk about here. Everybody's cleaning up.
Every series wrapping up here.
Next series should be very competitive, though, because all these teams look, who are obviously, it looks like these teams that are in the lead now are going to win. I don't think.
Is there any conference finals matchups you want to see?
Yeah, I would really like to see it would be Tampa Bay versus the Islanders. Then it would be Golden Knights versus the Stars if everything ends.
Yeah, you got 2 good matchups there.
And I like to see the Stars take it, and then I like to see the Islanders also get a win, move on. That'd be a great Stanley Cup final matchup.
Is there a team you want to see win it all?
Yeah, I was kind of going for Dallas just a little bit,
yeah.
And I like the Flyers too, just because I saw both of these teams play, and I like their players.
Yeah.
Barzal on the Islanders is really good, and then on Dallas you have that Seagun.
We'll go with it.
Yeah, we'll go with that. But,
It should be exciting once we get past this second round here.
Yeah.
Obviously we're seeing a lot of good teams wipe a lot of other really good teams.
Yeah.
Right.
To get to this point in the playoffs, you have to be pretty good. So the fact that we're seeing these teams get utterly dominated, we're in for an exciting finish once we get to these conference finals.
Yeah, and the finals, yeah.
In the finals, yeah, especially. Whoever makes it to the finals will, without a doubt, be the 2 best teams after the way that this playoff series has gone so far.
Yeah.
I mean, like you're saying, there's a lot of teams that are looking like they're going to be out of the second round here, but anybody can win it.
Anybody can win it.
Right.
So.
We've seen plenty of 3-1 comebacks where we're from.
In
We're
hockey
going to talk about that,
especially
too.
in hockey, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that basketball, too, coming up.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So that's about it for hockey. If you want to jump or baseball, you want to jump right into baseball.
The baseball got a trade deadline going on right now.
Yeah.
A lot to get to.
There are a lot of trades going on.
A lot
of major trades,
A lot
too.
of rumors flying
Let's
around.
start out with our team. Well, Alec and I's team, Mike likes Myers. The Indians.
I'll let you read this one. Go ahead.
Time out. You want to talk about the Pirates real quick? Last place in baseball.
Oh yeah, last place.
That's okay.
Indians are fourth best.
Hey, they just hit double-digit wins. They beat the Brewers 5-1 last night.
Yep.
10 wins on the season. 10-21 now.
I was pumped. It should have been Saturday night, but they lost on the walk.
Hey, but I think you're only about like 8.5 games back out of first, so
I don't even
there's
care.
still a chance. There's still a chance.
30 games left, dude. We're making a run.
Right. I mean, hey, if you guys just go 30-0, this one's over. Put baseball on notice. Baseball on notice. The Pirates go 30-0 just to get swept in the first round.
All right, talk about your team.
The Indians are what, fourth best team in Major League?
Yeah, I believe third or fourth best team in baseball.
In the majors or like in the AL?
In the majors.
In the majors.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're number 1 in the AL Central now.
They're tied right now with the White Sox, right?
No, they took the lead last night.
Last night? Well, they lost.
Well, then it was the night before. I know they're in first place.
Oh, no. Wait, White Sox are first, and the Indians are tied with them.
Yeah, they're tied for first.
Ah, okay. Dude, the AL Central, literally, you go one more day, and that'll look completely different.
I told you about them White Sox.
Yeah,
before spring training.
I told you about those Indians, you know.
I know, they're good. I'm just saying. All
right, give me the trade. What's going on here?
They sent out Mike Clevenger.
Sunshine.
Yeah, he wasn't,
Sunshine was bringing.
I think we all saw it coming too.
Sunshine was bringing a cloud over that bullpen.
Yeah.
After his recent events with Plesac.
Yeah, and besides for that, he's been crapping himself. He's not been playing very good.
And career ERA, I think it's 3.2 right now, which is decent.
Well, speaking of
he hasn't been getting done. He got sent to the Padres. Now that's a team that's getting it done.
I'll give you the rundown on that. So everybody the Padres got, they made 5 different trades so far. I mean, we still have under an hour, half hour left.
Yeah.
But they have acquired right-handed pitcher Trevor Rosenthal from the Royals, formerly with the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. First baseman /DH Mitch Moreland from the Red Sox, which I think is a good pickup because he's a World Series champion.
Yep,
you can depend on him. Catcher Jason Castro from the Angels. Catcher Austin Nola from the Mariners in a 7-player trade. That was a large trade with a bunch of minor leaguers going back and forth. And pitcher Mike Clevenger and outfielder Greg Allen from the Indians. Yep. So the Padres are pretty good.
The Indians, they have a lot of outfielders. This is who the Indians acquired. They got right-handed pitcher Cal Quantrill. They got left fielder Josh Naylor, who's gonna be supposed to be into that rotation.
Yeah, he's supposed to be our starting left fielder. Yeah. Story on that, actually. His younger brother, Bo Naylor, is one of the Indians' top prospects here at the moment. He was drafted 29th overall in the 2018 draft. He's supposed to be really good. So, I mean, that would be kind of cool to see both of them in this.
Right, brothers playing.
Yeah.
Brothers playing together. If he gets up to the league fast enough. You never know with baseball. It's like every day you got a new thing.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see
along with Naylor, they got catcher Austin Hedges, shortstop Gabriel Arias, who, if we can't hold on to Lindor, is supposed to fit in real well.
He is supposed to be a rising star in the league. Obviously, a little question mark there. I don't think he's going to be Francisco Lindor immediately. I mean, Frankie Lindor was something special when he came onto the Indians. He has remained to be something special. Yeah. A lot of Indians fans are going to be crushed if we can't re-sign him this offseason. But if they can't, this Austin Hedges, Gabriel Arias, he's going to be pretty good. I got a lot of confidence that he's going to do something here.
They also got another shortstop, Owen Miller, along with another pitcher, left-handed pitcher, Joey Cantillo.
The Indians are holding a lot of catchers now. They got Perez, which is obviously the starter. Sandy Leone, and now they got Austin Hedges.
And they had that other guy, too, Taylor.
Yeah.
Bo Taylor.
But just those 3 guys, they're holding 3 good catchers. That probably could be a catcher for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of talent just on that entire rotation for all positions, really. Then, especially once we go into the bullpen, they get rid of Mike Clevenger, and there's still going to be a top 3 bullpen in the
rotation.
Top 3 starting rotation in the league.
I mean, they're pretty deep at every position. It's just a matter of producing and doing it consistently, which their lineup hasn't done. It's been too consistent, but if they get it going, they're deep at every position.
If they get it going, they put up 14 runs.
Right. But then they
come out and win the next night, too, in 12 innings.
It's just how it goes in baseball.
Quantrill, the pitcher they got, it was 2-0 with a 2.60 ERA in 10 appearances, which is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's promising.
Yeah, and then Josh Naylor is 23 years old. He was hitting a 278 batting average, and he had 1 home run and 4 RBIs.
Was that in the minors or?
I think he was in the minors.
Or did he come up?
I think he was actually with. I think he was up. Was he with
Josh Naylor? Yeah,
yeah,
he was up already.
He was up already.
This was
yeah.
Major Leagues.
Yeah. Then, like you said, his brother, and that'd be cool if you see a brother duo.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too much in football.
No,
Any sport, really, but. So
I got the only one I can think of at the moment would have to be on the Milwaukee Bucks in basketball.
Or the McCourys with the Patriots.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's two I can come to mind right now.
The Antetokounmpos for that.
But we were talking about the Pirates earlier. They got rid of outfielder Gerard Dyson. He went to the White Sox. And the Pirates got in exchange international slot money. It was good. The fact they got anything for Dyson was good because he did nothing this year. His batting average is, he only stole 4 bases, but he stole 30 last year with the Diamondbacks. But his batting average is like way under 200. Mm-hmm. So the fact that, I know it's just international slot money, but the fact they got something for him was like good because I didn't think they would be able to get rid of him.
Yeah, but where's that money really going to go with your owner?
Well, I heard you can't pocket slot money, like international money. So they're going to use it sometime. But
so he has to use it on somewhere other than a ski resort.
Yeah.
In other trades, you talked about the Padres getting Nola from the Mariners. Well, the Mariners, they picked up that Taylor Trammell, who's that Trammell is going to be something else.
Yeah, I thought that was he went to the Mariners, right?
Yeah.
Number one, that's good for them because they're in rebuild mode. Number two, that was a good haul they got for Austin Nola. I never even heard of him.
Me either.
I mean, they got a good haul for him, and I remember him with the Reds. He was a top prospect. They traded him to the Padres last year in that Indians trade.
Yeah, and they also picked up David Altavia and Austin Adams.
Yeah, but that's a good pickup though.
Yeah. That was
what a 7-player trade.
The Mariners. This is who they picked up. I run the wrong names. They picked up third baseman Ty France, catcher Louis Torrens, and then right-handed pitcher Andres Munoz. We'll go with that.
Yeah, Ty France. I got to see him a little bit when the Padres were on TV. He's
all right.
He's got some upside.
I've never heard of any of these players except for Trammell. But speaking of him, since entering in 2016, he's batting .270, 33 home runs, 195 RBIs in 426 games, and he also has 110 stolen bases. I think that I read that he was thrown out 37 times or something like that. But
yeah,
he's got speed. I've seen him run.
That's a good pickup for that team.
Yeah.
Considering you've hit 195 RBIs in 450 so games or whatever,
right?
So you're getting an RBI almost every other game. I think most teams would live with that kind of result. From batting. Maybe they can work on a strength a little bit, get them a little more home runs. 33 is kind of low, especially in the league we're at now, where it's like home run or bust sometimes, depending on the situations. So if they can build his strength up, he's got a lot of promise with that speed that he's got.
So another trade I got, because we were talking about Oakland a little bit during the last show, because how surprising they've been. So Oakland acquired starting pitcher Mike Minor from the Rangers in exchange for 2 prospects. Minor is at the age of 32, and he's coming off an all-star season last year with the Rangers, which he went 14-10 with a 3.59 ERA and 200 strikeouts across 32 starts, which is pretty solid.
That's pretty good.
He struggled so far in 2020.
Was 0-5.
Yeah, posting a 5.6 ERA, which is significantly higher than last year. So Oakland is hoping he can turn around to his 2019 form. They also got second baseman Tommy Listella from the Angels. You might remember him from the Cubs.
Yeah.
So they got him in exchange for infielder Franklin, I think Barreto it is. Pardon me if it's wrong. Listella was an all-star last year with the Angels, posting 16 home runs and 44 RBIs. So Oakland did a good job there. I mean, they got a nice starting pitcher.
And Oakland already has a good team, so whoever they added are just building and building.
What's Oakland's record this year so far? What are we at there? Mike, you got
Oakland
that pulled up?
is 22-12 in their first place in the West.
Okay, I thought they were doing pretty
They're
good.
the second best team in the Major League. The Dodgers are the best.
Tampa got 24 wins. I didn't know that. Nobody talks about Tampa.
No.
Surprisingly.
We talked about them a lot last week.
Yeah, but nobody talks about them too much around. They don't get a whole lot of national attention. But
I think it's a weird baseball season this year because of everything else that is going on. They're probably getting the least amount of television that they've ever had from their season.
And it might not seem like it. We're already halfway through the season, and we haven't got a chance to look at everybody.
Right. I mean, because we even talked about this on one of our Keeping It Casuals earlier this summer, Mike. I don't think you were there for that. Matt and I were saying we were wondering how TV ratings for baseball was going to do now that we had 3 or 4 other sports in the exact same time spots.
That was the death of baseball, right?
Right, yes, that was the death of baseball on YouTube. You can go check that out if you want. But, like, now, especially, we got college football coming right around the corner here. Next 2-3 weeks, we have top 25 matchups coming into play. So, how much more of a hit are we going to see in baseball right now?
Well, I don't know because playoffs, I mean, that's when everybody watches baseball.
Right, I mean, that's really when their number really hits.
And that's right around the corner. Series. And we're going to see, I mean, I haven't seen too much talk about it, but you're going to see if the teams that make the playoffs still play at home ballparks. Because they're talking about playing in the Rangers Stadium and like a couple other stadiums down south or out west. So we'll see how that shakes out. I think playoff baseball always gets a good turnout.
Yeah, I think, I've been watching it a lot more just because it's less games, 60 games. Right. I think a lot of people are watching more.
It's more intriguing, right?
Yeah.
I think more people are watching. I think more people are watching all of the games, but there's still less people watching those games.
Yeah.
So while you have that common fan that like tuned in maybe once or twice a week, he or she may be tuning in now 4 or 5 times a week.
Hey,
but they're not gaining another fan because of it. Yeah. The number may look inflated, but I mean,
TV ratings might look better because there's no fans there. So whoever did go to the games are all watching on TV.
So all the season ticket holders. Right. So every team can probably count in about 10,000 that are guaranteed to be there.
Yeah.
No, but like you're saying, like you got college football that's going to be starting here in a couple weeks. You got the NBA the NBA playoffs going on. You got hockey going on. You got a lot going on. So we just want to see how that shakes out.
But also another trade. Tampa Bay, they acquired that Robbie Ray from the Diamondbacks this year.
No. The Blue Jays did.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Tampa Bay. We were talking about Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays acquired Robbie Ray from the Diamondbacks. Ray is a 28-year-old lefty. He can get some strikeouts, but he's inconsistent.
He's been good in the past, but his ERA's not
he's inconsistent in other areas. Excuse me. He's 1-4 this year. He has a 7.84 ERA, which is horrible. But he's got 12.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. That's good.
I mean, if he can get it together. I mean, we've seen him in the past. He started for the Diamondbacks in a couple playoff appearances they were in. So if he can get it together.
Saying that, 12.5 strikeouts per 9 innings, saying that, but he also leads the league in walks and runs allowed. So hopefully he can. If the playoffs started today, the Jays would be in a wild card spot.
Okay. I mean, they got a good young core there, so anything they can add on.
And of course Guerrero Jr.
Anything they can add on. I think we were talking about it before the show started. I think the Blue Jays were the team that got Jonathan VR from the Marlins.
Yeah. And then we just saw that the Marlins got your former Pirates player.
Yeah, so he goes from Arizona to the Marlins. We'll see how that works out because you don't expect them to get a guy like that because they ship out VR and then they get Marte and you think they're rebuilding.
You being a Pittsburgh fan and you watching Marte over the years, how do you think he'll have a good impact?
When he's on, he's on. I mean, he's got the talent, but
he's still fast.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, he can cover ground in center field. He'll steal you some bases, but I mean, when he's locked in, he's probably one of the best outfielders in baseball. But that's kind of an if. I mean, he has a talent. He's gonna hit for you. He's gonna cover some ground in center field. So we'll see how that works out for the Marlins. Yeah. I wasn't expecting them to get him because the Yankees were interested in him. I thought maybe the Yankees would get him, but they have a lot of outfielders. But so going to the Marlins is kind of a shock because they're in rebuilding mode. Like I said, they just got rid of VR, so then they get him. Yeah. So I mean, but they're in the playoff hunt right now. They're doing good.
Yeah,
I think they're in third place in the NL East. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we will see how that goes.
You got something else for us here, Matt?
No, there's not really any more baseball.
All right.
So
we will. The deadline ends in 15 minutes, but if we do get updates, I will shout them out.
So now that we got, I mean, this looks like that we're gonna get. This is like the bulk of the trades we're gonna get. So after seeing everything that's shaped out, who do you guys like?
I mean, I think you have to go looking at the Padres. Obviously, top 3 in their division so far. They've been kind of rustling up there at the top there. Now you make all of these trades. Acquiring Mike Clevenger is huge.
Yeah.
He may have been having a down season so far, but we know what he can do.
He might be the leader.
He's only 25 years old. a lot of room to grow. They can easily get another 6-7 years out of him.
Right.
As long as they can keep him there. They're probably the biggest team to watch after all these trades. It'll be interesting to see how Indians pitching does, especially losing one of their. They've lost 3 of their best pitchers in the past year.
Going to Bauer.
They got rid of Kluber, no Bauer, and now Clevenger, and they just keep replacing them. It'll be interesting to see how much longer can they keep losing their starting guy and then replacing him.
Keep in mind here, Kluber was old.
And he hasn't been pitching. Yeah, he hasn't been pitching this entire season. He got injured in the first game.
Yeah, he actually got taken out of the first game. I will say that Bauer was a loss. Bauer had an attitude problem, but he still went out there and got you wins.
But that's such a Cleveland thing. We sent him down to Cincinnati, so he's like still in the same state, which is why he works
there. There was rumors that the Reds were looking to trade him. I don't think they have, and it doesn't look like they're going to.
He's still really good. And as you said, Mike Clevenger, it has been great, overall, but just not recently. He's just not hitting.
When he jumped onto he really kind of went off last year, and people started jumping on the Clevenger bandwagon. He got called Sunshine. I got a Mike Clevenger bobblehead back in my house.
Instead of saying we lost him and we lost him, let's look at who we still have. We still have Plesac. Okay, we got that rookie.
Which is probably the more surprising part that they haven't. Yeah. Well, actually, there's controversy going on with Plesac too.
But he's back playing, right?
Have they brought him back up yet? I didn't think so. Last I heard, they weren't bringing him up. The manager of the team, I believe, told him that when they brought Clevenger back up, they went, "There's just not enough room for you in the major league right now."
Well, maybe there is now.
Perhaps, but we saw in the trade the Indians acquired another pitcher, so.
Yeah. So we'll see.
And they have Tristan McKenzie up there.
Yeah,
right. That's who they pulled up.
There. Carrasco.
Big start by him on Saturday. Yeah. That was a big bounce back for him.
Yeah, it was. He was kind of falling off a little bit, but that start Saturday, he was back.
He was on.
It seemed.
But so what did you kind of think about getting Greg Allen being included?
I really liked Greg Allen, but we have a lot of outfielders. We still have.
It's not going to hurt them It's not going to hurt them as much as Clevenger could.
We have Naquin. We have. We just picked up that Naylor.
You got the Shield. You got
the Shield. Domingo.
And there's a lot of guys that are infield that can also switch to the outfield as well.
And you got Zimmer.
Yeah, right. Bradley Zimmer. Yeah.
Like I said earlier, if they're deep at every position.
Yeah.
So if they can just get it on, which their pitching is something you
The pitching has been there. They have not given up a lot of runs in any game this season.
The bats have been starting to come. Franmil Reyes is bringing in. Naquin had a couple doubles the other day. Is bringing in some runs. So
their defense is solid. All you got to really worry about
Shields is hitting too.
Right, 100%. He's been hitting.
When he gets on base, he's lethal. He's gonna.
And that's important for the Indians because they, in the past few years, have not had a lot of base runners.
Right.
There's a lot of power, and there's a lot of guys that are just slow. Well, especially once they get out there, they can't run the bases, so we weren't getting a lot of extra base hits. So it's really important now that we're bringing in guys that can actually run once they're on base.
Yeah, I remember watching the other day that the Shields put that little bunt down, and he was in first base without even a sweat.
Right.
This is kind of off topic, but you guys see that weird double play? That was a neat.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was. What did they say it was? The first time since that
the center fielder was involved in it.
Yeah.
So what had happened was there were I believe a guy on first. The ball was hit. Player advances to second, and he tried to take third as well. So he got caught up in a pickle because the ball got thrown into the catcher. The catcher then ran out to third base, then chased him all the way back to second.
Yeah.
The catcher then throws the ball to the second baseman who goes down and tags the runner who came back. And then the guy that hit the ball was trapped in between first and second as well, waiting to see what his other base runner was doing. And I believe he got thrown out as well.
Yeah, that was a historic double play. I think it was the first time that
it was what was it, 268? Something? 268 double play?
Something like that.
Right, and that was, I believe they said it was the first time since 1948 that play had happened.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they went back pretty far and they couldn't find it. Like you said, I think it was in the first part of the century, but you never see something like that happen.
It was probably one of the dumbest base running things I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was sloppy. How do you just mess up that bad? The entire situation was just bad.
You got the outs in some form. It's all that matters.
No, the base runners, they really messed that one up.
Yeah, they really did.
But like other teams, I like what the A's did getting another starter, Mike Minor. I like the White, even though it wasn't a huge deal. But I like how the White Sox get to draw Dyson. I mean, I know I talked about his average being low, but we saw with the Kansas City when they won the World Series. You get him on, he can steal bases. He gives you speed on the base pass. So I mean, that's a good pickup for them. And the White Sox are in good position. They're tied with the Indians right now.
Yes, they are. Twins. I think the Twins should have made a little move today. I mean, they're starting staff.
Okay, so how about this? What's a team that you're surprised hasn't made any moves today? So yeah,
I'm
Twins
surprised,
for you.
not just because of my team, but I'm surprised the Pirates haven't sold as much as I thought they would.
Right.
I mean, I know they don't have a lot of household names, but I didn't think that. I don't think they would trade Josh Bell, but I was intrigued to see if they would because he's been picking it up lately, and they could probably get a decent haul for him. But
I'm surprised we didn't see anything from the Dodgers.
Dodgers too, yeah.
Because that entire division, it's just as competitive as the AL Central right about now. So I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen the Dodgers make any roster moves. Same with the Rockies.
I was surprised Atlanta didn't make as much because I know they were interested in Clevenger. He ended up going to San Diego, but they were interested in Lance Lynn from the Rangers.
Right.
They were saying that the last couple hours they were picking up steam on it, which nothing's come out yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But the Twins with their pitching isn't good. Barrios is kind of falling off a little bit. I don't know. The Indians is routed them, which I like.
They usually hit off Barrios.
Yeah. And who's that other guy? I forget his name. But he's falling off too.
So yeah, I think we all agree on the Padres. They're probably
Padres are definitely World Series favorites at this point.
They're in the conversation.
I don't know about favorites.
Dodgers,
they're having a good season.
They haven't been in the playoffs in a long time.
Right. Once we get to the playoffs, it's a whole different situation.
Yeah, that's true.
There's still a lot of season left to play. We're only halfway.
Yeah.
I mean, right nowadays we consider 30 games a lot because they're only playing 60 games. But yeah,
I mean, if we were in a regular season right now, we're talking 30 games. We're saying somebody's World Series favorite. They'd be like, "You're crazy." Unless
I think they're in the conversation.
25-5,
right? I think they're in the conversation. I mean, they have Machado. Tatis is taking off. He's probably the favorite for the MVP.
Right. Keep in mind though, around 30 games is where we see a lot of players start to slump.
Or pick it up.
In a regular situation.
Slump or like rise up.
Yeah. This will be the moment. This is the turnaround right here. What happens next? What happens from this trade deadline on is going to be huge for baseball.
As you said that, we kind of saw the Indians slumping a little bit, hanging around, and now they're starting to hit a little more. Maybe we're one of those skyrocket teams.
Yeah, that is possible.
So,
I mean, like I said, if they can hit, the Indians are a tough team to handle because you know the starting pitching is going to be there, like I said earlier.
Oh, yeah. No matter who they have.
So what else we got in baseball? You guys have any World Series predictions or anything?
I think it's too early.
I think we're
too early.
I mean, well, let's make our way too early predictions for Major League Baseball.
Did we make
World
ours
Series.
before the pandemic and all that? I don't remember.
I think we went through. I think we made our division picks.
Yeah, I said.
I think you went with Indians. Yeah. Mike, I think you went Chicago.
Yeah.
I went the Twins.
I think I
Central.
Did. Yeah.
But I don't think we made World. Oh no, we did. We did.
And all those teams we picked are right up there.
Right. No, we did make picks. I think I was the Yankees and the Dodgers.
Well, this isn't a trade, but I have news here.
All right, hold on.
My buddy just sent me this. Pirates to promote Key Brian Hayes, a third base prospect, like I was talking about last week. He's going to start tomorrow's game against the Cubs. He will be the third base. That's going to be his MLB debut, so that'll be nice to see him come up.
All right, well, there's a move for the Pirates. Maybe not the ones you were looking for.
I've been waiting to see him come up because, I mean, why not bring him up now?
Right.
I mean, so that'll be nice to see him play.
All right, so we made our way too early predictions some time ago. Let's make our mid-season predictions. What are we looking at? Who's favorites? What's going on? Matt?
Why you always got to start with me?
You're right next to me. I always go right to you.
Okay. So, I'm not going to say who I think is going to win, but I'll say who's going to be in it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All
right, so I think you got to go Dodgers on that side. I don't know.
They're the favorite.
They are the favorite.
Anything can happen.
We'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, it's too early.
Who do you like in the American League?
The American League, Oakland's doing really good.
They are.
Indians are my team. You know, I always want them to
Indians can get in, but bias aside.
Yeah, bias aside, they could get in. Yankees looking pretty good, and Tampa Bay right now.
Well, the Yankees slid a little bit. I think they lost like 5 in a row last week, but it
Yeah.
seems like they're starting to get back on track.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay, it's a big toss-up, so I really don't have a solid pick.
My prediction, as Alex said, I'm pretty sure I went with the Cubs at the beginning of the year. I think I'm going to stick with them in the National League. I'm either going to go with them or Atlanta. I like Atlanta. Their lineup's pretty good.
I like Atlanta, too. Yalbies and
American League's pretty tough because it's kind of wide open.
It is wide open, especially if you look at the top 5-6 teams, really. And that's just it. We're having 6 teams in, plus we have the wild card spots.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
there's a lot of teams that make it this
Talking
year.
about Oakland, though, this is probably like their best chance to get back there. Because
Yeah,
they've been there in a while. I mean, it's pretty wide open this year. Just looking at, you don't know who's going to win.
So, what's your pick,
really
Mike?
don't.
Who's in the World Series?
I'm probably going to go Cubs and A's, I guess.
Cubs and A's.
I like the Cubs. Their pitching's good. They still have their whole core of their World Series team. The A's, like I said, this is their shot. I mean, we'll see if they can get on a run and get in there.
I like Oakland.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit different for everything there. No,
Yours was what? Dodgers and...
I really didn't have a solid
No,
pick.
come on. Dodgers and who else?
Dodgers, A's.
A's, okay.
Dodgers, A's. I'm not going with the Oakland A's. I'm taking Tampa Bay Rays.
I like Tampa.
Right.
That was
I like
tough.
The reason why I'm not going with the Athletics, 13-4 at home, great so far, but they're only 9-8 on the road. So they're struggling when they go on the road. So I'm taking the Rays, who are 12-6 on the road and 12-5 at home. That's who I'm taking for the American League.
I want to see you got National League.
Mr.
And that,
Statmaster here.
Yeah, I had to whip out the stats. And the reason I'm not going to Indians, they're 9-7 at home. They struggle hitting. Really, all of the AL Central, besides the Twins, are tragic at home. The White Sox are 11-9, Indians 9-7, Twins are 12-3. But then Twins on the away side are 8-12. So not looking good there. And then I think
National League's kind of wide open too, because the big boys are like the Cubs and Dodgers.
Right,
Probably the Padres too now.
Padres struggle on the road. They're 9-9 so far. That's why I have to go to the Dodgers, 11-5 at home and 15-5 on the road. Right, so a lot of road games already, which means they're going to get a lot of home games to finish out the season, which is only going to play to their strengths.
To their advantage.
Right, and give them a better seed once we get into the playoffs itself. And then from there, it's wide open playoffs.
Playoffs are going to be interesting, like we were talking about. With all,
I think
with
this
all
is going to be a fun MLB.
It is, because you're going to see all these teams in it now.
Yeah.
It better be, with all the hitting and drama that they've had so far.
We had to wait for it.
Right.
But yeah, that's about it for baseball.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk NFL here. So we got a few things going on. Season's about to start in a few weeks. A lot of you guys got fantasy football starting up here soon.
Yep.
And even more of you guys just got screwed over with the biggest news we just come out of Jacksonville. Matt, you want to tell us about that?
The Jaguars just released running back Leonard Fournette, which is a huge surprise.
Big loss, too.
Yeah. Even though Fournette really hasn't produced a lot. He had
especially last year, right?
Over 3 years, he had 2,631 yards and 17 touchdowns. But he was still a big piece of that Jacksonville team. He was
in the AFC title game a couple years ago.
Yeah,
right.
He was the 4th overall pick in 2017.
Can you imagine what different NFL we're looking at if the Jacksonville Jaguars win that game in the AFC Championship against the Patriots?
New England,
Yeah.
If they win that game against the Patriots, maybe win the Super Bowl. Can you imagine what different NFL we'd be watching right now?
Yeah.
Jacksonville may be a super super team at the moment. The Patriots could have split up even sooner. Completely different. Plus that secondary that they got rid of right
Ramsey's
after.
gone.
Lost Ramsey. Lost a couple of pieces.
They just traded Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah.
So he's out of there now. He's a very talented guy. You remember where did he get traded to?
I can't remember offhand.
Nice job, guys.
Minnesota.
It may have been Minnesota. I can't remember exactly. But crazy there. Leonard Fournette, great career back at LSU. But it really hasn't translated as much to the NFL as much as we thought it would, I think. I mean, a lot of talent. He still has a lot of room to grow. He's still young. But running back to the NFL, we know they don't have a long career.
No, they don't. And I do have to say that Jacksonville's offensive line hasn't been
right, and that's part of the
good.
issue when it comes to a running back. So, if he has no offensive line, he's screwed before he even touches the ball.
Who do you guys think he'd be a good fit for?
I think he'd be a great fit for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because who do they really have a running back right
now? Shady McCoy, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's an old man.
Yeah, but he's
He's
steady. He'll get the job done.
Yeah.
Ish.
Didn't the Patriots just sign a running back?
Not that I know, but
okay.
you fit there.
Yeah,
too.
that's what I was gonna say.
Unless
they just sign somebody, which I don't.
If they can end up getting their hands on him,
Fournette,
they're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
their defense is still good. I mean, I know they lost Kyle Van Noy, but their defense is still productive.
Right, and they
They
still have
still
that
have
offense. They
Stephon
still have that
Gilmore.
offense line. If they get a running back that can run behind those guys,
You have Michelle back there too, Stoney Michelle.
you're right.
Yeah.
He's back there too. I mean, any of these guys against that offensive line should be pretty good. And without Tom Brady to hog the offense passing wise,
Right.
It's going to be a much more wide open offense with Cam Newton running this. So I mean, that'd be a good fit up there.
It's going to be interesting to see who becomes interested in him. Like you said, they'd be a good fit. I mean, if they can get their hands on him, that'd be intriguing.
You guys want to make, since we're talking about the NFL, you want to make way too early NFL or a Super Bowl?
In a minute here, because we have another interesting story. The New Orleans Saints superstar running back Alvin Kamara has been holding out past 3 days of training camp. We haven't had any official reports, but it is believed that he is on contract negotiations with the Saints. He's been sitting out. We've seen this in the past few years, starting pretty much with Le'Veon Bell and the Steelers. And that has kept going with more guys. Zeke Elliott, I think, was sitting out for a while.
Yeah. Last year, right?
Melvin Gordon. Who's the guy that just got moved to the Falcons?
Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley, he sat out. I mean, this is a trend we're keep seeing with more and more running backs. They want to get paid. But that's a big story, especially when we're talking about Super Bowl predictions. If he keeps sitting out and we get to the regular season and he's still sitting out, they don't have a running back and Drew Brees is in trouble. If they can't run the football, Drew Brees is getting pressured every single time he's down.
They don't have Mark Ingram anymore, so I don't even know who their backup is.
They should just re-sign one of those old Ohio State quarterbacks, just throw him in at running back.
That's your first week matchup. Tampa Bay versus the Saints.
Right.
Saints, right.
Do we want to make predictions?
I think
way too early?
What are you doing, like divisions or?
No, let's just go straight Super Bowl.
All right.
Ooh, that's tough.
It is. That's why we're doing it.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Shut up. Get out of here, kid.
All right, Alec, lead off.
Ooh, okay.
Let's let Matt go last this time.
All right. Let me pull up here. Let me see what I'm looking at. This is a hard one, actually. I mean, the league is so wide open this year.
I can make mine.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
I think the Tennessee Titans have a great shot to get
to the Super Bowl or just make a run
to the Super Bowl. They were there. They were right there last year.
That
they have all the. I mean, they really have all the pieces they had last year, especially with Derrick Henry leading the way, and if Ryan Tannehill can just repeat that performance last year, I think they can get back there.
I would be shocked because they had a special run last year.
Yeah, they did. I don't know who the NFC.
NFC's kind of wide open
Saints.
too.
And it's a lot like when we're talking about the National League. It's like, God, who are we taking?
Yeah, because there's a lot of teams that you're kind of looking at. I don't know. I don't know if the 49ers can get back there. I mean, they have the talent, but the National League, I think, who do I like here? NFC, I probably like. Tampa Bay's a favorite, obviously, but I kind of like. This is tough. I think you got to go. I don't know if you can go with Tampa Bay because they got a lot of new pieces. You know how they're. I mean, they're gonna be good.
It's kind of like when we were talking about the Browns last year, right? All the people hyping up the Browns before the season started, looking at all of these pieces, and then they basically wet the bed and did nothing.
I'm kind of okay. I'll go AFC first.
All right, give me your picks, mate.
Matt, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Titans.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna throw a team out there. I think the Buffalo Bills can make a run.
Yes.
I mean, they had a good offseason. They got Stephon Diggs. I mean, they were already good last year. I mean, you give Allen somebody to throw to, especially Stephon Diggs.
Who's that other wide receiver they got with Allen? Josh Brown.
Right.
Speaking of Josh Brown, and then on defense you got Tre'Davious White, who's great.
All right, I like them in the AFC. I think NFC's tough.
Somebody picks Buffalo. It's about time.
NFC's tough, man.
It is.
There's a lot of teams in there.
Buffalo, I do think Buffalo.
Yeah, there's about a whole 12 teams there to pick from.
Since you mentioned Buffalo, I got to talk about Buffalo now. I do think that this will be the year that they take their division. But you can't count out Cam Newton. Everybody's saying, "Oh, Cam Newton."
Right, it's going to be a tough road there.
It's still Cam Newton, okay?
Right.
Yeah, AFC. I like the Bills, but I could probably either go with them or the Ravens. This might be the year you can see the Ravens like get past the first round because they haven't the last 2 years. All right, stop rolling your eyes. Just because you're a Steeler fan, don't roll your eyes.
First of all, I have to say, all y'all are crazy. Y'all crazy. Are you forgetting the Super Bowl champions? Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah.
It's going to be the Chiefs again. It's either the Chiefs or the Ravens. You guys are crazy. Get out of here.
I don't think
it's the Chiefs.
All right, pick something in the NFC. It's hard. No,
in the NFC? You want to take the NFC?
I didn't forget the Chiefs, but it's
I'm
very
taking the New Orleans Saints.
We're just trying to go on a limb here.
Yeah, it's very unlikely that they will repeat. Okay.
Yeah, it was hard to do. Five years ago, we were also saying it was unlikely that we were going to ever have a mobile quarterback in the NFL. And now, MVP, Lamar Jackson, mobile quarterback. Super Bowl MVP. Patrick Mahomes, mobile quarterback. One of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league, Russell Wilson. Mobile quarterback. He used to be a very mobile quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees. Mobile quarterbacks run the league. Don't tell me that we're not. This isn't common.
All right, pick an NFC team now.
NFC team. You want to pick one? New Orleans Saints.
I do agree with the mobile quarterback. I never had anything against that.
I kind of like the Seahawks too.
I like the Seahawks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like the Seahawks too because you're hyping up your boy Russell Wilson.
Oh, dude.
I mean,
Deshaun Watson, mobile quarterback.
Exactly. He's injury prone though.
Oh yeah, but he's still good.
Right.
It's gonna be interesting. Especially in the NFC, like we said.
This season, I've said this before.
Because there was a lot of movement
weird.
last season.
It's going to be weird.
There was a lot of movement. So
it's going to be exciting.
You're just waiting to see how a lot of these teams play. Like I said, we're waiting on... I mean, Tampa Bay had a lot of pieces coming in.
Hey, don't forget about that Washington football team. They might make a run. They don't even have a name.
But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of player movement, so that's why it's kind of hard to make predictions here to start because you don't know how a lot of these teams are going to play.
How funny would that be if the formerly known as Washington football team made a run to the playoffs?
That would be nice. That'd be a nice story.
That's gonna suck for broadcasters this year. I know, at least
they're gonna screw up.
First two games, we're gonna get Washington Redskins in there. They have to.
It's gonna happen.
They're all professionals.
Especially if they just stay Washington football team. Like somebody's gonna throw Redskins in there because you're so used to it. They've been there for how long?
I would say that team.
I mean, at least we don't see them on national television, so we won't have to worry about that anytime soon. Although I don't know, Chase Young. I've seen some videos coming out of training camp. He was destroying some of those offensive linemen. Yeah. And especially now he's on a defensive line with Ryan Kerrigan, one of the best defensive tackles in the league. That's that'll be a good duo right there. It's the dangerous duo.
Like I said, we're just gonna have to see how things pan out because there was a lot of moving pieces. A lot of teams had good drafts. We'll talk about the Dolphins. They had a great draft. They had a great free agency. So they're rebuilding still, but we'll see how they come out. I think they're gonna be good in a couple years.
Another mobile quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's question marks about how he's going to be able to stay healthy behind a Dolphins
and do that in the NFL.
Right. But it's kind of funny that no one here really was AFC North because that's pretty much the most competitive division at the moment.
I'm not going to lie, I did forget about the Chiefs. I'm not gonna lie. That's hard to do.
It's hard to forget about the Super Bowl
and they didn't lose anybody.
Right. We've heard nothing out of that entire camp all offseason.
That's why I kind of forgot about him because you're thinking about all the teams that made moves and they didn't have to. But
exactly.
Yeah, we got NFL coming up in 2 weeks, or less than 2 weeks now, which is great to hear that because we're all waiting for football.
And when I was saying weird, it is gonna be a little weird. You got not only Brady and Tampa Bay, it's called the Washington football team now. You got Rivers and
Indianapolis. You got like you said, Brady in Tampa.
Also, look at the announcers. We're gonna have
Kirk and Chris Fowler.
Chris Fowler will be doing the Steelers Giants game.
That's good. I mean, they're awesome on college.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be cool.
I don't like that they're gonna be calling Monday Night Football though.
Yeah, but you gotta have two good names on Monday Night Football because there's been a lot of movement in that the last couple of years. Yeah. I mean, Monday night you always had a lot of big names and they were consistent, but I mean. Yeah, it'll be nice to see them on Monday Night Football.
Interesting to see if there's still going to be how much college football they still get to do this season now that they've been moved over to NFL as well.
And because, like you said, there's not going to be as many college games.
Right. And, how's college game day going to work this year? Because that's really, Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler are their biggest things so far. But speaking of college football, it's back.
It's here.
We just had week 0 happen. The Guardian kickoff down in Montgomery, Alabama. It was Austin Peay versus Central Arkansas. We just rewatched the ending of that game. It was pretty good. I'd have to say so. Some last-minute touchdowns. And I'm excited for football to be back. You know, it may have been FCS games.
It was a good opener.
But it was a great opener to start the season off with.
I didn't get to catch this game, but you were showing highlights a little bit earlier, and it kind of went back and forth at the end of the game.
Right at the end, yeah. It was an exciting finish.
From what you were saying, the whole game kind of sucked.
Yeah, it was a slow start.
Yeah.
It started
as
off
you
quick.
expected.
First play of the game was a 75-yard touchdown run from Austin Peay. It was pretty much the entirety of their offense until like the second half.
But I watched bits and pieces of it, but like I said, or like we were talking about, it's just good to have it back. I know there was only one game, but we're getting. What do you have this weekend?
This weekend, all right. So Thursday, Central Arkansas at University of Alabama, Birmingham. UAB did a really good last season for the majority of it. This is only their 3rd or 4th year having their football program back now.
Yeah.
So great to see them. South Alabama, Southern Miss. That's the Thursday slate there. But then we get to Saturday. Pretty slow still. But we have Arkansas State at Memphis. Memphis is probably the team to watch here because they were running the show out of the American Conference last year.
They made the Cotton Bowl last year against Penn State. They gave Penn State a run.
They did for a while there.
Yeah.
It was impressive by them. And then Monday, September 7th, we have BYU at Navy. We actually have 2 of our armed forces in action this weekend because we're going to have Army taking on Middle Tennessee as well. And just about every single football game coming up is going to be televised. So,
as you would expect.
Right. With nothing else on TV, really, ESPN is running the show here. ESPN or CBS Sports Network, either one of those is going to be playing all of your college football games this weekend.
Lots to look forward to.
Lots to look forward to.
Yes.
We're going to keep talking about it. We'll at least try and get one of those games on here at some point, and then we'll start talking about that as the season rolls on.
Yeah.
Week 3, so after this week and the next week and coming up, we're finally going to start seeing some top 25 teams in action. Can't wait to see it. Big news out of the Big Ten. They are talking about moving the season back up. Right now, the earliest starting date would be Thanksgiving weekend.
Somewhere in November, yeah.
Late November. So it's better than spring.
Yeah.
Right.
It's good to see them trying because, them playing in the spring, like another conference playing in the spring, it's like it'd just be weird having like teams playing in the fall. Then you got stuff going on in the spring. It's just like you got half the teams playing. It's just it's weird. So them trying to move it up to Thanksgiving, that's good because it's.
But we still haven't seen anything out of the Pac-12.
We haven't.
No, but probably most because of that is because where those schools are located.
Right.
Half of which are in California, which just can't reopen with the national pandemic going on right now.
Yeah, so we'll see how what they decide to do.
College football's back, baby.
That's all.
I'm happy.
That's all that matters.
We got Friday Night Lights on too. It's amazing.
Yeah, what about high school?
Can't wait to see what else is coming out with sports. We got so much coming up. Lots to talk about in the coming weeks.
Yeah, so we'll keep our eye on that.
All right, well, let's move on to basketball, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alec. Lead us into it.
Do you want to do a little bit? You want to talk about?
Yes, I will talk about this real quick.
What do you got?
2020 has taken another life from us. Just this morning, former Georgetown head coach John Thompson had died at 78 years old. Caps off to this man. What a legend for Georgetown. Won the national championship with
1984. You had Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing. He was also the first black head coach to win a national championship in the NCAA. First one ever. He impacted so many lives, not just Patrick Ewing, but also Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson has went on and said this morning that John Thompson saved his life at a very young age.
He did.
Allen Iverson didn't grow up in the best of areas, and once he made it to Georgetown, his life turned around for the better, and we know the rest of his story.
Yeah, had a little bit of issues off the court, and Thompson was a father figure to him.
Yes.
Exactly. So we lost him. Let's take a brief moment of silence for him. All right. Just out of respect for a legend like that, I'm sure we'll see him in a College Basketball Hall of Fame here next year. Definitely. Has to be at this point. Then let's move it on to what we're seeing in the NBA right now. So, before we get to games, we had a massive thing happen.
Yeah.
After recent national events involving the shooting of a black man in America by police officers in what not all official reports have been released, so we will not be making comments on those.
Sports only here.
Right. We try and keep it sports only. Obviously, we're on the side of just social justice, equality. We're not going to, say anything bad about that. But because of those recent events, the NBA had a boycott, a 3-day boycott that resulted in meetings between players and owners. We almost lost the playoffs. Both the Lakers and the Clippers voted to stop the season and return back to their cities immediately.
But every other team
they changed their
play, right?
they changed their opinions the next morning. Obviously, everybody was very emotional the night it all went down. So that's when the immediate stop. The Bucks were the first team to announce we are not playing. It was crazy what was going on. All of a sudden, everyone's phones were blowing up. Game postponed. What's going on? We thought maybe we were going to get another 6 months off again. We didn't know what was going on. But this resulted in meetings between players and owners. The players are asking their owners to do more in their communities and to assist them in spreading the message that come November, everybody needs to vote. And that's kind of their biggest message that they've had come out of the bubble so far. And that was the whole point of this bubble, was all these players have an opportunity to come together on these issues and talk about them entirely. There's a lot of different opinions and emotions that go through all of these events, and they wanted the chance to come together and talk about those. What can they do? How can they improve their local and nationwide situations? So this is the first step in that. We saw it. Something happened. The NBA PA came together, and they did something. Now, tons of owners around the country are using their stadiums as voting centers in November. So that's what goes on that. So because of that, it was 3 days. We lost a lot of basketball time, so we don't have nearly as many games to talk about. But a lot of series wrapped up. We just finished the Lakers Trailblazers in 5. High five to myself. I was the only one that took the Lakers in 5.
What did I say?
You said 6, so Matt, you were at 7, so get out. Game 4, Lakers put on a show, 135 to 115. LeBron had 30 points. Fantastic performance. We're finally seeing him, like I said it last week, he's finally putting the hammer down. He's finally taking control of the game, and he's playing. He did great. Kyle Kuzma, he's heating up once again. He had 18 points, and so did Anthony Davis. Then on the other side of the ball, Jusuf Nurkic had 20 points, but they also had 8 players in double-digit scoring, and they played, 8 players in double-digit scoring. Then we made it to Game 5. Lakers won at 131 to 122 to win the series. Trailblazers were playing without Damian Lillard, though. He suffered his injuries, and he had to get out of there. Anthony Davis came in 43 points. I think about 13 of those came in about the last 6 minutes as LeBron just kept tossing him dimes to hit a 35-point triple-double. Fantastic performance there. But then flip the ball to the other side. C.J. McCollum was putting on some Dame time there. He put up 38 points. And then Melo once again turned back the clock. He put up 27 points.
Good performance.
Do you think that's the last we'll see of Carmelo Anthony?
I don't know. He said he really wants to play in Portland. They've really embraced him in that culture. The teammates really seem to love him as well.
Yeah.
So
I like him.
I think we can see him back next year.
Played well there. I mean, he turned himself around. He played well there. Good spot for him.
But biggest thing you notice here in these games, the Lakers' defense was not great. I mean, if you look at these scores, they're facing an 8 seed. These should not be close games. Game 1 was a 7-point loss to the Blazers. Game 2, I'll give them that. It was 111 to 88. But then the next game, they win by 8. And then Game 4, turned it up again, won by 20. Then Game 5, 9-point game. I mean, should we really be impressed that the Lakers beat an 8 seed who finished with a losing record this season?
I mean, we expected it.
Well, this is what we expected them to do. We were expecting a sweep for the most part. We knew that the Trailblazers were going to be coming in a little bit hot, a little bit heated, emotional. They played good in that first game, but we saw the Lakers put the hammer down. It's what they were supposed to do. Keep in mind, the Lakers were playing without Rajon Rondo. He was activated before Game 3, but was listed with injured with back spasms for Games 4 and 5, so he did not play in those ones.
Yeah, so we expected them to win that series. Not a surprise. I mean, 5 we probably all thought of. I said 6, but I mean, we all thought it would be... Yeah. Portland would get a game or 2. We all thought it would be a short series.
Matt thought the Blazers might pull out a little more magic, but I think maybe they could have if Dame didn't get injured.
Yeah.
But Dame's dislocated her finger, and then I think he injured his knee as well. really just kind of messed with their chances there.
I really hated to see the Mavericks go down yesterday. I was hoping to see...
we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, as we move down the bracket.
Right. Now, we got an order we go to, man.
Well, what's the next one?
Well, next one is going to be who the Lakers are taking on. It'll either be the Rockets or the Thunder. Game 6 will be Monday night, so as this goes live on Tuesday, you guys watching it now already know the results of that. The Lakers will either be taking on the Rockets, who are leading 3-2, or we're going to see a fantastic Game 7 coming out here.
Yeah.
No one here picked 7 games. Mike, you might get it tonight. You picked the Rockets in 6. We all picked the Rockets to win the series, though. So Game 4, Harden had 32. No surprise. Game 5, he had 31. Game 4, it was 117-114 Oklahoma City. We saw fantastic performances by Dennis Schroeder. He put up 30, and then Chris Paul had 26 as well. Then we move on to the next game. The Rockets balled out and destroyed and dismantled the Oklahoma City Thunder. They won 114-80. Russell had 31 points. Oh, sorry. James Harden had 31 points, and Robert Covington had 22. On the other side, Dennis Schroeder, the leading scorer, just 19 points, with Chris Paul right behind him at 16. Not the best games. Oklahoma City, this is what we've seen. They have not been able to start James Harden. He can penetrate the defense so easily. We know he's got one of the best first steps, which makes his step back that Matt is, going to yell about travel here in a second. I know he's going to. No one can stop him, really. He's so hard to defend. And biggest thing here, Chris Paul. Chris Paul has not shown that he can lead this team to playoffs. They're too inconsistent from shooting, and their defense lacks intensity.
Not even the refs can stop him.
Well, there it is.
All right, come on, Matt.
Give credit where credit is due.
All right,
he only travels on maybe 1 or 2 shots a game.
He still sinks a shot now, and that's pretty incredible. So.
I mean, could you take 4 or 5 shots backwards?
They're all step back from 3-point range.
Right. It's not like you step it up and get
I still gotta give him crap for it.
Who do you think's taking the series here? I mean, we're 3-2. We got an exciting Game 6 tonight, and then Game 7 would be Wednesday.
I think it'll be a close one tonight, but I expect Houston to close it out tonight.
Yeah, I think Houston will pull one.
After last game's performance, I think they may have just closed the door on any chance of a comeback from the Thunder.
You never know, though.
You never know. But here's the series. This one right here, most intense series. We're going to Game 7. The Utah Jazz versus the Denver Nuggets. It's tied 3-3. Nobody had this game going 7. I had the Nuggets taking it in 5. Matt and Mike, you guys... Oh, no. Matt, you picked the Jazz in 6. Mike, you picked the Nuggets in 6 as well.
I had the Jazz. Jazz are up 3-1. I almost took it.
Right. It was getting close. It was getting closer to a gentleman's sweep, but the Nuggets, since we came back here, have been balling out. Jamal Murray is the story.
Yeah.
Let me give you the stats for games 5 and 6 as our reigning stat master here. Game 5, 117-107. The Denver Nuggets took that one. In that game, Jamal Murray put up 42 points, and his teammate Nikola Jokic put up 31. On the other side of the ball, we had Donovan Mitchell with 30 points and Mike Conley with 17. Game 6, we took it 119-107. Denver wins that one again. Jamal Murray joined the list of people to give multiple 50-point games in a series. The same club Donovan Mitchell joined in Game 4. That joins AI and MJ. So, yeah. Jamal Murray had 50. Jokic had 22. But on the other side of the ball, Donovan Mitchell almost put up 50 again. He had 44. And then...
you went 14 out of 25.
Right, 44 points. Fantastic there. And then Mike Conley put up 21 again. I mean, this series looked like it was all but over after the Jazz won 3 straight. But Jamal Murray has been phenomenal since they came back.
I watched that a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, like he was hitting them from deep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got to one point. He was just shooting every shot. He was sinking every time.
Like, they clearly relied all on him, too. Did you see how exhausted he was?
He was exhausted and emotional in his post-game interview.
Yeah.
It was quite intense to see that performance.
Yeah.
But, I mean, who do we think is getting the advantage here? Obviously, Nuggets are on a hot roll, but you know how hard it is to win 3 consecutive games.
It is.
It's nearly impossible to win just 3 consecutive. especially against a team that you're pretty evenly matched up against.
I don't know. Maybe I think the Nuggets. I don't know. Like you said, they're on that hot roll. Maybe that will be enough for them to, end the series. Yeah. But Utah, I mean, they still have key players, and they can still come out and play. They're not just going to go away silently. They were up in this series 3-1. Everybody thought it was going to be in the bag, but Jamal Murray just came out of nowhere.
I think Jamal puts up another one. I think he puts up 50 again.
I think so.
He's capable of doing it.
I think he's putting up 50.
Win or loss, I still think he puts up 50.
No, I'm saying he puts up 50 and the Nuggets take it tonight.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
That's my pick.
That's tonight.
That's tonight's game. It should be 8 o'clock.
It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
It can literally go either way. I mean, both these teams are experienced. They've been in the playoffs the last couple of years, so it can go either way. And if Jamal Murray goes off again, which he's very capable of doing.
I mean, it's possible we see Donovan Mitchell pull it off, too.
It's actually tomorrow night's game.
Is it?
Yeah.
You sure?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay. Well, tune in for tomorrow then.
Tune in tomorrow. You guys will be able to watch it after we talk about it. So how about that? But then, like you were talking about earlier when I yelled at you, the Mavericks Clippers. Clippers took it 4-2. They closed out the series pretty well there. I do have to say, I was right. I picked the Clippers in 6. Just got to point that out there. You guys all picked Clippers in 5, so just one game off. One game off, but I just got to put it out there. I was right. I did pretty good in the Western Conference. I have to say so. But Game 5, Clippers absolutely demolished the Mavs, 154-111. Luka Doncic 22 points, but on the other side, Paul George found a shot. Playoff P found a shot, 35 points. And Kawhi Leonard put up 32. You say about time, but then we look at Game 6, 111-97. Clippers take it. Luka with 38 points. Then on the other side, Kawhi had 33. Paul George only had 15. So,
but they won.
You remember how to shoot, and when he shot, they destroyed the Clippers.
Right. Interesting series it was.
Interesting series, but those last 2 games, Kristaps Porzingis was out. Luka Doncic was just getting physically assaulted by Morris. Took a couple shots to the head, to the ankle, a bunch of stuff. And the Clippers are either going to face the Jazz or the Nuggets. Who would you rather see the matchup with, Jazz or Nuggets for the Clippers?
Ooh.
Either one's going to be good.
I don't think the Jazz will be able to touch the Clippers. I don't think the matchups are in their favors.
I'd like to see the Nuggets.
I want to go Nuggets there.
That'd be a good.
That's probably the best matchup wise because I think the Nuggets might have the defense to hold those guys to 30 points.
And if they can keep up scoring wise,
right? If Jamal Murray can continue his hot streak,
I mean, Jokic is going to do what he does, but
yeah, Jokic is going to get 20, 25
He's
points.
He's going to get his.
It's going to be a matter of who else is stepping up.
I'd probably have to go with the Nuggets. That would be a good one. That would be an intriguing one too.
Right. So we just saw Luka Doncic in the playoffs the first time. Phenomenal.
What do you guys think about it?
I think
for his first time, I mean,
I think he's gonna be back.
Playing a team with the Clippers.
Hey, just remember this.
No, he's here. Remember, we talked about it. He's here already.
Well,
he's here. Just remember this: Michael Jordan was eliminated in the first round of his playoff series.
Yeah,
none of us expected him.
I think he'll be back next year.
Right.
Oh, he's gonna be back for a long time.
He'll be back in the playoffs next year. That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
He's gonna be there for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, the Mavericks could make a big move this offseason.
And if Porzingis stays healthy, I mean that's a big factor there. For
the foreign squad down there in Dallas is balling.
You already have Porzingis with him, and you have he was who's their coach?
Rick Carlisle.
Rick Carlisle.
Then they have one of the best owners in basketball as well.
Yeah.
So.
In sports too.
Yeah. In sports, not just basketball. Yeah.
Mark Cuban.
All right, so that's it for the West, right?
That is it for the West. Out east, we saw the Bucks take down the Magic pretty easily. I'd have to say so. Didn't really grab much. They grabbed the stats. It was 121-106 for the Bucks. Then it was 118-104 for the Bucks. Both games. First game, Giannis had 31. Second game, Giannis had 28. Chris Middleton's been his backup guy. Got 21 in both games. Then flip it to the other side. As we saw for the whole series, Vucevic did his part for the team, but nobody else stepped up there. The games were close-ish. Better than an 8 seed is predicted to do against the number 1 team. So, promising for them, but we keep seeing Magic and bad situations in the playoffs.
Right.
I mean, we keep saying, God, what does this team have to do? And they don't really ever seem to be doing anything. So
I think Vucevic is a good player, but I just think
he's out of there once his contract's up.
Yeah.
He probably will be.
The amount of talent he has, Greg, he'll probably go somewhere else and he won't get near the points just because there'll be a number one guy wherever he goes at this point in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd like to see him on more of a stage. I mean, he is a good player. I mean,
Right.
like you're saying, you're waiting for the Magic to pick it up because they're there, but they just haven't made any significant adds to that team.
Right. Then next series was the Miami Heat and the Pacers. The Heat swept the series. None of us saw that coming. The closest was Mike. You said the Heat in 5. I had the Heat in 6, and Matt, you had the Pacers in 7. You were about 3 games and 4 wins short.
I like to pick
Game 4 was a low-scoring affair. The Game 4 looked a lot more like an NBA Finals contest with no team scoring over 100. Miami Heat won the game 99-87. Oladipo put up 25. Miles Turner had 22. Goran Dragic on the other side put up 23, and Tyler Herro put up 16 for the Heat. After the game, though, this is where things really got interesting. So we saw the Heat sweep the Pacers. The Pacers then went on to fire Nate McMillan, their head coach.
Yeah.
No favorites have been announced for the job just yet. But potential candidates, we have Kenny Atkinson, Alvin Gentry, Mike D'Antoni, Brett Brown, and Mark Jackson. We say Brett Brown because he was just fired from the 76ers as well.
You'd like to see Mark Jackson get the job. I mean, he's
Right.
the coach we've been waiting to see come back in the league.
Yes.
He played for the Pacers.
Right.
Yeah, he did.
So you'd like to see him get back in the league, coaching-wise. But
100%.
yeah, Nate McMillan did good with that team, but they just couldn't get out of the first round. I mean, he worked well with what he had, but they just couldn't.
They
get
had a
it
lot
done.
of injuries this year,
They
too. Surprisingly, just about 16 days ago, Nate McMillan had a 1-year extension put onto his contract. 16 days later, he gets fired.
So you never know what happens.
Right. There's no such thing as job security in professional sports.
Nope.
But then we move on to Celtics 76ers. That series is already wrapped up when we talked about it last week. But Brett Brown was fired last week. So far, Ty Lue is the favorite for the job, but Jason Kidd is also interested. Former assistant coach, current assistant coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. We talked about that a lot last week.
I'd like to see Jason Kidd get back into the head coaching game. He was in Milwaukee's Bucks coach, and I think he did an okay job there.
He was expected to become the Lakers head coach here in a few years, but depending on how Lakers do this playoffs, that opportunity may not be coming very soon.
For a while, I didn't want the Cavs to pick him up. I wanted the Cavs to have him as coach because I think he would help them out a little bit.
They go through coaches every year. So.
Yeah, I think
Right.
I think
Bickerstaff's good. He's going to be there a while.
Yeah.
But so you got Boston sweeping that series, which I thought they would win, but I didn't think they'd sweep them.
Boston already took game 1 already.
Yeah, so we're going to move on here to round 2. Raptors Celtics. I went back last week. I took the Raptors in 6. Matt, you took Boston in 7.
Yeah.
Mike, you took the Raptors in 7 as well. Game 1 went 112-94 to the Celtics. Fantastic performance there. But what was weird about it, there was no single star of the team. There was no star of the night.
It was a team.
Both Tatum and Smart put up 21 points. They were the leading scorers. On the other side, Kyle Lowry put up 17. Serge Ibaka had 15. But both teams had just about every single other player in double-digit scoring. So that's why. I mean, this is kind of what we expected. Both of these teams are absolutely loaded.
It's real. They don't have more than one star player. They're both very good teams. You know.
And that's the thing with Celtics is they have a lot of star players.
Yeah, Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker,
Jaylen
Brown.
Right, Daniel Tice.
Yeah.
I mean, they're loaded.
Who's the guy that came over from Portland? Enes Kanter.
Yeah, Enes Kanter is really good too.
So in the East, you got 2 good second-round matchups.
Yeah, so Bucks versus Heat. The MVP, the reigning MVP, I should say, versus the most underrated superstar in the NBA, Jimmy Butler. Giannis has been absolutely dominant so far, as we expected to see. But the Heat just swept the Pacers, and frankly, they look like a far more complete team than the Bucks have so far.
Yeah.
Bucks, we saw them 4-1 the Magic, but it should have been a sweep. Made that one game, whatever, it happened. Oh well. But interesting is they didn't destroy the Magic like we kind of thought they might. And we saw the Heat put the hammer down on the Pacers.
Yeah.
They took care of them.
They took care of them.
Interesting to see what's going to happen here. Game 1 is Monday. Sorry, that's what I kept thinking was Monday. That's Game 1. That's tonight. And Game 2 is on Wednesday. Let's make picks for this one.
Oof.
Mike, how about you lead us
For
off?
Bucks Heat.
Bucks Heat.
I like the Bucks, but
You can't count Miami.
What? You just said, oh, you taking the Heat?
no, I'm just trying to think of how much.
No. I'm just trying to think of how many games they're going to get
Bucks
picked in.
in 6.
Ooh, okay. Matt?
What do you think?
It's a tough one.
It's tough.
All right, I'll get mine. I wrote this down, so I'm not just copying you, Mike. I also took the Bucks in 6.
Okay.
I say I gotta go with Bucks here.
How many games?
I hate to pick the same as you guys. I always try to be
Then
different.
don't.
But well, I'm going to. I say.
No arguments here.
I say
Right.
the Bucks. I say the Bucks go 7 games.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, 7. That's not a bad pick there.
But-
7 games.
You know,
Jimmy
this Heat
Butler
team
is
has
here.
a lot of guys.
They do.
A
That's
lot
why
of
it's hard.
talent.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
we
wouldn't
know
be
the Bucks have
surprised.
Giannis. We know Giannis can put up 38, 45, 50 points. But
I
so can Jimmy B.
Yeah.
Then they got. It'll be interesting to see how Bam Adebayo matches up against Giannis. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's probably who
that'd
they're
be
going to
good.
have guard him.
Yeah.
Between him and Kelly Olynyk, they're probably going to get dominated by Giannis. So they have to let Giannis get his, but stop the rest of the team.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see an upset here. Okay?
I don't even know if I call it an upset. It's
No.
21.
Or like
just
a
the-
different team, you know, or just
Whatever you want to call it.
the Bucks not winning.
And the return of the NBA Part 2, I believe it was, on
Yeah.
Keeping It Casual. I picked the Miami Heat as my dark horse candidate.
Yes.
My other one was the Mavericks. They got kicked out, unfortunately, but they showed promise there for a second. I picked the Heat as my dark horse, so...
And the series tied. I'm like, oh man.
Right.
Then nope. That's 2 games.
Then, obviously, Lakers. Who would we rather see them face, Rockets or Thunder?
I'd like to see the Rockets, because I think
I'd
the Rockets
see the
potentially could give them a run.
They
Or
could.
could possibly win it.
If the
Small
Lakers,
ball's going to hurt the Lakers. We saw it earlier in the regular season where Lakers couldn't really... They kept just trying to feed the post. And it, for whatever reason, AD just couldn't get a shot up in those games. So that'd be interesting to see. I think if it went Thunder, Lakers would probably sweep.
yeah, I
They
think
would
so.
handle them.
I think
They just match up too
if
well.
OKC happens to win this series, I think it takes it out of them when they win the
Right.
series, and they have nothing.
They need a
more.
lot. They'd have to give everything to win the series. Then they'd
Yeah.
have to give even more to touch the
Yeah.
Lakers.
Like I said, I'd like to see the Lakers go up against the Rockets, because I think the Rockets could potentially beat them.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the Rockets could.
All right, well, that's just about all I have for the NBA.
Yeah.
Another short week for you guys, but we have games of the week. Games of the
Yeah.
week, NBA Celtics Raptors. Game 3 is on Thursday at 6:30 on TNT. That'll be an interesting one. Then for Major League Baseball, this one sucked to try and find one because there was... No, you want to know why? Because there
Why?
wasn't like none of the good
Who
games
do
that
the
I...
Indians have coming up?
They play Kansas City tonight.
Yeah, they faced the
Who's
Royals.
that looking at? I think they play
Yeah.
Sunday,
Who's
Sunday
your game
afternoon.
of the week?
Game of the week is Tampa Bay Rays versus the New York Yankees.
That's a good one.
Wednesday,
That's a good
7:05. But the issue is, it's not on national television. None of the good games this week were on national television. So sorry, guys, you can't watch my game of the week. Just have to look at the StatCast like the rest of us plebs. Then let's go. NHL. We have the Canucks versus the Golden Knights. It was hard to find one there. It was
Yeah.
pretty much 3-1 in every series. So
Yeah.
take it as you will. Then, Matt, do you have an award to give out this week, or?
Meathead of the week this week.
Well, you got one?
Not really, no. But if you have any suggestions.
Oh, do we have any suggestions?
Who's there
For-
been? There hasn't been a whole lot of action.
There
Like,
hasn't been.
there
There
hasn't
hasn't been a
like
lot of
being meathead.
idiotic action. Let me just give him the intro. This week's Meathead of the Week.
My meathead of the week this week is me because I couldn't find one.
That's fair enough.
That's fair.
That's fair enough. Okay. Me head of the week, Matt Morrison, week 3, season 2. We're gonna start calling this season 2. I think season 2 of the podcast.
This is season 2.
Season 2, episode 3 has gone off fantastically. So glad we have not had any technical difficulties yet. Knock on wood. Right.
Which you were talking about games of the week. Like I said, Sunday afternoon, the Indians are hosting the Brewers. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, that's a little farther into
the Brewers
the
are
future,
kind of
so.
Brewers are kind of like
Right.
Not
I try to stick it during the regular
in the middle
during
of
the week.
Right.
Yeah, something that we can get to the next few days when people watch this. But unless anybody else has anything else to add,
No.
I think that's gonna wrap up episode 3 here for the Casual Sports Podcast. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast. Everywhere you watch podcasts, we're available. Make sure to check it out. Make sure to share it with your friends and family. Make sure to like it. Make sure to subscribe so you get all of our content.
If you have nothing to do, hey, listen to our podcast.
Even if you have something to do, turn us on in the background. The views help us any way possible.
You can literally put us on mute and just have it play. We just get views, okay? So go out and give us.
Well, Matt,
views.
you make us sound like view whores.
Yeah,
What
Matt,
the
give
hell?
us some credit here.
We have a pretty good podcast.
We have
I'd
a
say
pretty
so.
good podcast, but some people don't like listening to 2.5 hours of sports.
Hey,
Shortest one, so-
we're only an hour.
This is the shortest one. We cut it up a little bit. We got about an hour, 15 minutes.
Yeah, give us some credit
First
here.
one, though, the first one was 2.5 hours.
We had a 4-month hiatus. I think everyone expected that one to go a little bit longer.
Warm enough.
All right, we're warm enough.
All right, as always, I'm Alec Caberna.
And I'm Matt Morrison.
I'm Michael Wolfgang.
We will see you all next time.